Welcome back to the Literary Lounge. I'm Emily,
And I'm Paige.
and we are back after a 2-week hiatus of vacation and sicknesses and all sorts of things we had going on. So this summer's been busy, but I'm super excited to be back.
Yeah, it's definitely been a while. I suffered a bout of COVID after the
Mhm.
Eras tour, and then I got a second round of it. So
Worth
it's
it.
been a while.
No. Yeah, I'm glad you're feeling better. And
Thank you.
just before we started, we both were like, I forgot how to podcast.
Yeah. Don't worry, we'll get through it together, guys.
Yeah, sorry in advance. But today we are talking about The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. So this is a debut novel for her. We are going to be spoiling it. So if you haven't read this book and you're planning to read it, this is your cue to hop off. Otherwise, you are more than welcome to listen along. Our cocktail themed to the book today is the Blackbriar Mischief Martini.
I love that name.
I know.
It's cute.
It came to me and I was like, that's it.
Yeah,
like usually I'm
that's
not very
perfect.
good about like being creative with cocktail
Yeah,
names.
you
but
are.
I
You're
don't know.
good.
So a couple of them that I've come up with, I'm like, I don't know about that. But
I could say the same thing for me though too.
yeah. But it's good. It's got so I muddled blackberry and then soaked vodka in it. Just give it like a flavored fruity vodka vibes. And then I did squeezed lemon, fresh lemon juice, simple syrup, and I think that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
It's very good.
sounds good though. It sounds like really refreshing and
Yeah.
a nice summer.
I'm on
summer
like
drink.
a weird martini kick right now.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's like what I want.
Classy M.
I know. Yeah.
Classy
Anyway.
girl over here.
Yep. I always do my best. So,
Yeah.
we don't really have a question of the week. I just want to know like what's up with you? We haven't seen each other in forever.
Yeah, I think it's been like 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something along those lines. Well, I went to the Eras tour. Best weekend of my life.
You went twice.
Yeah, I went twice. First night, I was front row. Literally died. It was amazing. Second night, also amazing. We got so I went to Minneapolis. Any Swifties out there, if I say Minneapolis night 2 was like the best show of the Eras tour. She
Really?
played so like every tour she plays like 2 surprise songs, and like these 2 songs are like 2 songs that I really wanted to hear and like everyone else really wanted to hear, but I definitely doubted her playing them in Minneapolis. She played Dear John, which is the song that's supposedly about John Mayer.
Okay.
And literally like it was flawless. Like it was so amazing to hear that live. And then another one that I really love is Daylight. And yeah, I was like screaming when she announced it.
So it was
pretty great.
different. Like the 2 nights she played different songs.
Yep. The first night she played a song called Paper Rings, and then If This Was a Movie, I think it's the name. I always get that song mixed up, like the title of that song mixed up with the Hannah Montana If We Were a Movie
Oh.
song. So yeah, it's like this, it's a sad song.
Okay.
But yeah, it was really good.
So
And she was so close. She made eye contact with us so many times. I loved it. I was
did
freaking
she
out.
actually look at you?
Yes, I have
Okay.
video proof.
Okay.
I was only like 4 feet away from her.
I suppose.
Yeah, no, she like was singing directly to us at some point.
And you
Like,
look
it was
so
cool.
cute, so she probably did.
Oh, thanks.
But I'm about to ask you a question. Don't defriend me. What album were you representing? Because I'm not a Swiftie.
That's fine. I'm not gonna.
Okay.
Yeah. The first night I was Lover,
Okay.
so like the pink,
Mm-hmm.
and then the second night I was Speak Now, so I was like purple.
Okay. I can picture both of those covers, but
Yeah.
I just I am not a Swiftie, so
And
all the different albums kind of mesh together for me.
The proper way to ask is what era were you?
Oh,
'Cause
I'm
it's the
sorry.
Eras
Sorry.
Yeah, but it was super fun. Traded friendship bracelets with all these random people. It was great.
Cute.
I piled up on confetti when I was on the floor. Stole the confetti. That's like a thing. And yeah, I'm gonna make a shadow box. But yeah, it was great. Baby's first 2 concerts.
Yeah.
I'm glad they were Taylor Swift.
And you
So,
told me earlier that your baby's first kick was when you were listening to a Taylor Swift song.
yeah, that was literally like the most me thing to happen ever.
I
Like,
love it.
same. Yeah, I'm like a huge, huge, huge Swiftie. So
Watch,
I
she'll
was
just
so
like come
happy.
out and hate it, like hate Taylor
Do
Swift.
not say that.
Sorry,
She will be a Swiftie. She is a Swiftie in the making currently,
yeah,
and she will always be a Swiftie in the making.
she won't have a choice to just be wearing all the Era's outfits.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get her an outfit from each era. But sorry,
Cute.
a lot of talk about Taylor Swift, and then I got COVID, and then I was sick I had to miss out on 4th of July celebrations at our cabin, so we stayed here in the cities, and then I got better, and then I got COVID again. So,
Yuck. Yeah, that's like the worst time of year to get COVID.
hmm
It's so nice out. You
I
just want to like be
know.
at the lake.
Yeah, exactly. What's new with you?
That's what I did. So we had like 3 straight weekends at the lake. Like we did a long weekend for the 4th of July. So we had like, it's my family's cabin. So they were all up there. And then it's nice that Nick's parents like come up too every year. So we can like all
hmm
be together. So we did that for like the long weekend. We came home for like 2 days just to like work a little bit. And then we took that Friday off and we went back up there. We had some other couples up there. There's some of like Nick's good friends from college.
Oh yeah, I saw your
And
pictures.
yeah, and so like all of their like wives and girlfriends, like significant others, they were there too. Like we're just kind of like a little group that's gotten super close just like
hmm
the past couple of years. And so it was just like a really fun weekend, like at
Yeah,
bonfires and like hang out and stuff. And so like
that
yeah, we've
sounds
just been
fun.
living it up.
That
But
sounds nice. Really
yeah.
nice. Yeah, you should send me some pictures and then I can post them in the YouTube video for this podcast. I can post some pictures from like the Eras tour and then from your
Oh cute.
like cabin
Okay.
getaway so you guys can like see.
Yeah, what we're doing.
Yeah.
But anyway, glad to be back in the podcast
Yes.
studio. Glad to be
Yeah.
back in your basement.
Yeah, and we're actually going to be moving the studio soon again, so this whole color is going to be different
Yeah.
for the YouTube video. But yeah. All right, should we get started?
Let's do it.
Sounds good. All right. So this book starts out with a main character who is a struggling writer. Her name is Alex. It kind of dives into like how she is fighting with her best friend Ren. It doesn't really let us know why. Throughout the book, kind of gives us like hints at what happened. Um, but like we said, she's a struggling writer and she's just been having a hard time. I think she's like a editor too or something, right? Or no, what does she do for work?
She worked for a publishing company or
Okay.
something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something like that. But she gets selected to go to this like writing retreat with this like one of her favorite horror authors,
Mhm.
Rosa, is it Vallo or Vio?
Vallow.
Yeah. So she gets selected to go to this writing retreat, which is kind of like out of nowhere because they already
Mhm.
had like selections. Some of the requirements were you had to be like under 30 and she's not. So like it's just kind of, she got really lucky with that and she had like an in with one of her friends.
Yeah, her friend that's like I think also kind of a famous writer like finagled her in there
Yeah.
just to help her out. And then much to her dismay, like same thing happened for Ren. And so she finds out that they're like both going to be going to this writing retreat.
Yeah. Yeah. So she's like really freaking out about it.
Yeah. I mean, that would be awkward. Like,
Oh yeah.
and they're spending a month there. They're going to be, they know they're going to be writing. They don't really know exactly what, like, it's all going to go down, but like,
hmm
they're going to be spending a lot of time together. And they do as we go throughout the book. So, like, yeah, that would be really awkward.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So, um, the retreat is at Rosa's home, which is called Blackbriar Mansion. Shout out to our drink.
Mhm.
It's an estate with like a dark past. We'll kind of get into that a little bit. But there's a couple that mysteriously like died there.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um,
Daphne and Horace was like the couple's names.
mhm.
And they just know, like, it was very mysterious, like you said, but all they know is like Daphne's skeleton was found like charred. And then Horace was found with like his intestines, like or bowels coming out of his body.
Oh.
So it was like very gruesome deaths.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so she arrives at the mansion. It's kind of like in the middle of nowhere. Like it's like miles and miles from town.
Yeah, doesn't
Um,
she take a train and then some random guy like is there waiting to pick her up and he like drives her up there?
yep.
They're, like in the
Yeah.
wilderness.
Yeah, I want to say they're like 11 to like 13 miles from town. So like, I mean, that's pretty far for like
Yeah, it's not like you could easily like turn
walk.
around, yeah, or
Yeah,
walk or
and it's in the
whatever.
middle of winter too.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, so she arrives and she meets the three other women. We find out Ren isn't there yet, but the women are Taylor, Kira, and Poppy.
Mhm. Yeah, so she like at first she doesn't say anything about Ren, but then shortly after getting there, she's kind of like, I have to say something because like they're gonna notice, like they're gonna pick up on the way that Alex and Ren like treat each other, and it's not like
Yeah.
Alex and Ren are gonna pretend like they don't know each other. Like, and Rosa probably by this point maybe knows that they know each other in some way, shape,
Mm-hmm.
or form. So like she knows it's gonna come out, so she like tells them a little bit about what happened.
I feel like she shared too much information when
She
she told
did.
them.
I
Like,
definitely wanted to like talk to you about that because
yeah.
so she doesn't share like the earlier days of the relationship. She just talks about like what their falling out was like, how she basically like kind of throws Ren under the bus a little
Mm-hmm.
bit and is like or defriended me or ex-friended me like out of nowhere, and then we met up at a bar and I tried to talk to her about it and she
Yeah.
was like, get away from me. And then she said that like Ren kind of slipped or whatever and then blamed her, and um she like cut up her hand, which was that was all true or whatever, but she had to have like surgery and stuff, and she was talking about how all their friends like were on Ren's side from their whole situation. And so like I don't know, what do you think about, like you said that you felt like that was too much information. Like how do you think she should have like gone about it?
Yeah, I think it was way too much information. Like, she definitely did not need to give all those details and to like throw Ren under the bus. I think she should have just said, like, hey, just so you guys know, like, I do know Ren from outside of here and we had a falling out, and
Hmm.
that's all I'm gonna get into.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree,
Like,
because it's like it almost kind of makes her look bad,
yeah,
where she was
exactly.
almost like trying to like get ahead
Win
of
them
it.
over.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, exactly. I had, yeah, I did not like that from the like right when she started talking about it. Cause I was like, yeah, just give them like, just let them know like you guys knew each other, but you had a falling out. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, stop trying to like win their side,
Yeah.
like,
It almost looks kind of desperate in a way.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
then like moving forward, she's like all upset because they kind of like buddy up.
Yeah.
Because Ren and Poppy like room together because Poppy's like nice and tells Alex that like she'll switch rooms with her because Alex and Ren were supposed to room together. So
Mm-hmm.
obviously like Rosa knows something.
Yeah.
Or maybe she thought they were friends. I don't know. But like, so then they like all buddy up or whatever, and Alex is like kind of a loner
Mm-hmm.
at the beginning.
But I
And
feel like
so
that's why though,
no,
because
yeah,
like
like that didn't help her
that would,
situation.
if someone did that to me, like if I were one of those other girls, that would put such a bad taste in my mouth of that person. I feel like
Well, they don't know her, and you'd automatically be
exactly.
like, okay, what does Ren say about it
Yeah,
though?
listen to all my drama. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you don't know them. But yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like that.
Yeah, it was not like a good start to the whole situation.
Mm-mm.
And I don't know, I feel like if Alex and Ren were like mature adults, they should have like at the very beginning sat down together and just be like, hey, I don't like you, you don't like me, like let's just get through this and be civil and not talk about it, and like let's just focus on
Yeah.
our writing. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, like later on when you find out like what actually happened, the whole thing, like from both sides, is just super immature.
Yeah.
Like the entire thing. So
Hmm.
it's
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, they have dinner with Rosa, and Ren finally arrives. Um, Rosa chastises Alex in front of everyone.
Hmm.
Did I say that right?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever said that word out loud before.
Oh, really?
Sorry. Anyway,
I use that on like a daily basis.
really?
I think
How do you
so.
fit that into your daily life?
Just like, I don't know, at work or whatever, if somebody like makes a mistake, it's like, oh, you know, you're not going to get chastised for that. Like, I don't know. I've been, lately, it's been in my vocabulary.
I think I said it wrong.
No, you didn't.
I think I said chastises.
You know, you said chastises. I
Oh.
didn't think anything of it when you said it. Now you're saying it wrong. Chastisized. Oh my God. I'm going to
That
have
sounds
to
like some kind of medical procedure. Like
yeah.
getting something cut off.
Okay. Note to self. I need to like pick a different word next time. Like Ridiculed. Do you know what that word is? Okay.
No, like I know what this word is. Like I know what it means. I just have never had to say it.
I'm
So
sorry.
like I didn't know how to pronounce it. I know what it means.
Don't put big words in outline.
I know big words. Like my vocabulary is not bad. I just
It's
like
just one of those
haven't
words that
said
like
it out
yeah.
loud. Like you know sometimes when you like keep rereading a word
Uh-huh.
and then it starts to look funny.
Yes.
It's like that.
Okay.
Like
Well, you did get it right
okay.
the first time.
But yeah, so because they were all gifted like necklaces and
Mhm.
Alex forgot hers, which is like so like she fell asleep right when she got there, so she was
Yeah.
late to dinner, didn't
Yeah.
wear her necklace. Like
Do you think that she should have worn the necklace?
yeah,
I mean, it wasn't like super clear that she had to wear it though.
no, it wasn't, but I feel like it's kind of like obvious you should.
Yeah.
Like it's a gift.
Like if you had time to think about it, you probably should have like put it on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean like it's a gift that's like laying in their room. Like
That's
I
true.
just feel like yeah, you should have worn it.
Speaking of, did you feel like they were supposed to mean something? Like, you know how they all got a
Yeah.
different animal? You felt like Rosa was like hinting at something?
Mhm. Yeah. I didn't like know what, but like I went like when they were going through the animals and then hers was snake. I was like, ooh.
It was a spider.
Or no, spiders. Who was snake? Wren?
Wren. She's
Yeah.
like a snake in the grass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So like that I thought symbolized. I didn't know if it was Wren or Alex, but like I was like, ooh, snake, that ain't good. And then spider, I was like, that's not really good either. Like, but then the pig, I was like, that I'd be so pissed if I got the pig.
Okay. Well, you know what yeah. Okay. I'd be like, the fuck? Um, you know what I thought about that though? So, spoiler alert, even though if you're listening right now, you have read the book. So, you know how Poppy is really Zoe?
Yeah.
So, my so when she goes missing, we'll get there, but like my thought was like and they found out that she was really Zoe, like her ID didn't match like what she had told them and stuff. I thought she was like a private investigator, like FBI or something, like
Yeah.
undercover. And so I thought, like in that moment, I was like, oh, pig. Because you know how like people that like
Mm,
use that term as like a cop or whatever, like a derogatory way of like,
yeah. That
you
makes
know,
sense.
like criticizing the cops or whatever to call him a pig. That's like what I thought that was. That Rosa
Yeah.
was like, I know what you are kind of thing.
Yeah. I did not think of that at all. I just like got 'cause the other one was like what, a lion or something?
Yeah, Kira was a lion and then Taylor was a rabbit.
Yeah. See, I did like those two, like I was like, I didn't really
Well,
know.
Kira's like the fiercest of all them, I think.
True. Yeah,
And I was
true.
thinking, like, when I was driving here to our episode, I was like, what would the rabbit mean? That's a hard one. But I was wondering, like, you know how rabbits are, like, easy to trap?
Yeah.
Do you think that it's something like that? How, like, vulnerable they are? Like, how Taylor just kind of, like, is just basically mesmerized and, like, does whatever Rosa wants?
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Cause I didn't think of that. I was like trying to just think like, okay, rabbits are fast, but like how does that relate to her? Like,
Because
yeah, that's
normally
actually
they're,
really
like,
good input on that.
because they're, like, really innocent. So I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So I was like, what else? And I was like,
So did you with thinking that, did you suspect Taylor was like,
no, at the time, I just didn't know what it meant.
oh, okay.
And then, like, looking back, because, like, the ones that were obvious to me where I was like, okay, Spider, Alex, like, spiders have secrets or they're known for being, like, kind of a secret, like,
Mhm.
quiet thing. So I was like, I could kind of see
Yeah.
that. And then Ren, because, like, we're led to believe at the beginning that Ren's a bad person. So,
Yep.
like, she's a snake in the
The snake,
grass.
yeah.
And then the other three, I didn't know. But then I figured out the pig thing once, like, they found out her name was different.
Yeah, I just thought the pig, cause like Poppy seems so like innocent and kind of like
Yeah.
bubbly and like a little ditzy.
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought like that would relate to the pig a little bit.
Yeah.
But like it's just like I don't know, just like
Yeah.
cute, quirky, like
That's
a pig,
true.
you know?
Like pigs can be cute, like
Yeah.
cartoon pigs or whatever.
Yeah. And just like quirky.
Yeah.
Just like a little curly cute tail, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I really like the point you gave with the rabbit because that would make the most sense to me. I did not think of that.
Because otherwise, I literally can't think of anything else how that would ever make sense.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah, they had to have meant something. I wish they kind of would have elaborated on that more.
Yeah. Maybe it was one of those things that we were meant to sit here and ponder, which we are.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so she like calls out Alex in front of everyone for not wearing a necklace, but she was just kidding the whole time. But I was like, when she did that, I
Yeah.
was like, oh my God, I feel so bad for her.
I know. I was like, oh my God. But I like when she was like, you need to leave or whatever, I was like, well, she's not actually gonna leave
Yeah, because
because
then the
where's this book
story's
gonna go?
over.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But I guess after like all that happened, what was like your initial impression of Rosa?
She's a bitch.
Yeah.
She's crazy. Well, okay, so like my initial impression when she did that, like while she was doing it, I'm like, wow, you're kind of being a bitch.
Yeah.
But after when she was joking, I'm like, okay, you're sneaky and
Hmm.
tricky.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I feel like after she did that, I'm like, yeah, you're not really that trustworthy. That
Hmm.
was kind of like a bad impression to lay on these people for like the first time meeting them. They're like all excited to be there, like they adore you, and then
Hmm.
you're like you're gonna act like that.
Yeah.
And then like I don't know, like when she said she was kidding, I also thought like, is she kidding? Like
Yeah. Because the fact that she thought to bring it up in the first place made her seem like she
yeah.
was thinking about it.
But then also looking back, I don't think she was kidding because we find out, spoiler, again, you've read it already if you're listening still, but in the necklaces are microphones. Or is it cameras?
Um,
It's microphones or
I
cameras?
must
I
have
think
like
it's microphones.
zoned out at that part.
Yeah. So the
Okay.
necklaces have microphones in them.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's microphones. It's either microphones or cameras, but I'm like 90% sure it's microphones.
That
So she
probably make more
probably
sense. Yeah.
wasn't kidding actually. But like then she
Yeah.
was like probably thinking like, oh shit, like
Oh, that
I
makes
should,
sense.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
I don't know.
That was basically her like joking but not joking way of saying like wear your damn necklace.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
What about you? Like, what was your initial impression of her?
Well, same as you were, I was like, oh my God, what a bitch. Because like Nick and I listened to the audiobook of it, like going back and forth to the cabin. And I remember being like, oh my God, like that would be so awkward. Like I would
Yeah.
want to die. But then when she was kidding, I was kind of like, this lady is nuts. Like she's a wild
Mm-hmm.
card. But like I was kind of intrigued by her. And we'll like get into it more further through the book. But like I kind of liked her in a weird way.
Yeah, I get where you're going with that. Um, I did too, like a little bit, but like I couldn't trust her.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She's
Yeah.
like I said, she's a wild card. Like you
Mm-hmm.
don't know what she's gonna do.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Oh, did Nick like the book? Because I forgot that you were listening to it with him.
Yeah. He felt the same way as me, which I'll give my like review at the
Yeah.
end. I would say that like the fact that he listened to the whole thing, didn't complain once,
Oh,
had
nice.
had some like input about it. Like before I came over here, we were talking about it because he was like, "What book are you guys doing today?"
Oh, nice.
He knew we were doing this one eventually. He didn't know it was this week,
Yeah.
and he was like talking to me about some of the ending stuff. And so like the fact that he had like any interest in it tells me
Mm-hmm.
that like he kind of liked it maybe.
Yeah.
Um I mean, he had like some criticisms on the end, which I kind of agree with, but like
Yeah.
the fact that he like didn't have a problem listening to it is like a thumbs up in my book.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
I just wanted to know. I was curious. Well,
Yeah. Well, you guys know how he felt about the love hypothesis, and he did not react that way with this one.
yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah. Um, oof, baby girl is kicking.
she's got a lot to say.
Yeah. So the girls are tasked with writing a story for
Mhm.
this month-long retreat. They have to write 3,000 words a day. I was trying to think because they said it was like around like 12 pages. Like it doesn't seem like that much, but I've never like writ like thinking back to like having to write essays and shit in college, like it is kind of hard, like writing 12 pages. But then if you're thinking like if you're writing like a story, I mean, I'm not an author. I don't want to like make it sound easy because I'm
Yeah.
sure it's not at all. But like
Mhm.
12 pages a day doesn't seem that bad from like an outside perspective.
I guess like if you don't have anything else to do, which they don't, it's kind of
Yeah.
like it seems doable and they are able to do it. It's probably just the fact that like they have to not only write 12 pages, but they have to have like some real thought behind what they write. Like they have to have a story.
Yeah, but they're all
Craft it.
authors already. So
Yeah, that's true. Except Alex, obviously, she has writer's block. So she's like,
yeah, that would be hard.
doesn't even know where to start, which is a
Mhm.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of pages still. Like I remember having to write a couple in like high school and just like wanting to die.
Yeah. I mean, I guess essays are like completely different than like writing like a story, but
That's true. You have to like cite sources and stuff.
yeah, yuck.
Yeah, I don't miss that. Yeah. So they've got a lot to do. I will say that like I thought it sounded like kind of fun.
Yeah.
Like what they were doing.
Oh, I did too. Yeah, because I eventually like would love to write a book one day.
Hmm.
Um, especially like after reading this book. I don't
Hmm.
know. It sounds
Yeah.
like more interesting, but yeah, I thought it sounded kind of fun.
Well, I was like, okay, you get to hang out with like 4 other girls close to your age, similar. I mean, they're doing the same thing, so they have somewhat similar interests. They're all writers,
Hmm.
like, and aside from like Ren and Alex's like feud, they all get along. Like, they're
Yeah.
not like being shitty to each other. Like, oh, you're my competition and I hate you. Like, they're not
Hmm.
like that, and they give each other like good feedback in their like group discussions and stuff. So it's like it seems like a pretty good environment.
Yeah, I was definitely waiting for like sabotages to happen because
Yeah.
like they kind of isn't it like they kind of have to like help edit each other's and
Yeah, they have I mean, they're helping each
yeah.
other out, but at the end of the day, like, only one of them is gonna win, like, the book deal.
Hmm.
So, yeah, they didn't really ever do anything like that where they tried to, like, undermine each other.
Yeah.
Um, and then how, like, every night they get to sit down for, like, a nice dinner and have cocktails and stuff. I was
I
like,
know. They
"That
get like the
sounds nice."
cocktail hour and then they get the dinner. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
was
it
like, "Oh,
sounds
that
really nice.
sounds kinda fun."
Yeah, exactly. No, I thought the same thing.
Yeah. But
But
anyway, the setup's pretty good,
mhm.
but, like, Alex begins to just, like, unravel while they're
Yeah,
there.
she starts to kind of lose it a little bit. Like it's really bothering her that like Ren is there.
Yeah. And she tells
Um,
Rosa, like, about
mhm.
it too,
Ugh, she needs
which
to stop talking about it.
I know, she is just looking so bad, like, bringing it up to everybody.
To be fair though, Rosa was like digging and digging for it
Oh,
though. Like
yeah.
she wanted to get
Yeah,
in there.
that's true. Alex didn't, like, come out and say it right away. Like, I think Rosa said something like, "I feel like you're not telling me the whole story,"
Mhm.
and then just, like, finagled it out of her. But that's where we learned that, like, Ren started, like, putting the moves on Alex when they were, like, living together.
Yeah,
Like, she would, like, hop into her bed at night
I
and,
wasn't
like, they
expecting
would, like,
that.
just cuddle, like, weirdly, and then
It like
it
progressed.
progressed where they, like, hooked up and stuff.
Yeah, I was not expecting that.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, like, it must have gotten weird between the 2 of them, and then Ren bounced. Like, she was
I
out.
I don't even think it got weird between them. Like after that happened, I think Alex like started to get like she was like kind of wondering like what does this mean? And then
Mhm.
like right after that happened, Ren just like went MIA and completely like ghosted her and then like moved out like a week later and like with no explanation. So I think that's like where Ren went wrong cuz like she should have obviously handled it better.
Mhm.
Um but yeah, like
Do you feel like Alex is probably leaving stuff out that, like, caused Ren to leave?
um no, I don't think she was leaving anything out about that part.
Mhm.
Um, I can't remember. I think Ren gets into it at the end of what was going on in her mind with it. Can't really remember. But no, I don't think she was like leaving stuff out. Like I think she was pretty reliable with that part of the story. But I will say like the more that this book was going on, the more unreliable I thought Alex was.
Oh, yeah. Totally agree.
Like she starts to just kind of get crazier and crazier.
Yeah. Well, so, like, that was my thought where I don't know if I necessarily felt she left stuff out, but I feel like maybe she left out some of her behavior
She could
because
have.
I don't know, I guess maybe I missed this part or whatever, but I don't really remember, like, Ren totally having her reasoning.
She did a little bit. It wasn't like I'm trying to think. I think she just kind of like I think her reasoning was like she just kind of got like spooked by it or something like that. It was
Yeah.
like something which makes me think like Alex didn't really do anything wrong.
Mhm.
Like I think she was just I don't know. And the way that Alex describes Ren too, sometimes she just seems like kind of like a ticking time bomb.
Mhm.
So I could kind of expect that from Ren, I guess, and not really assume that Alex was doing something wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if she did anything wrong. I guess my thought was, like, maybe cause Alex totally leaves out the fact that she has, like, feelings for Ren, and I really do think that she
When
does.
yeah,
And so I
yeah.
wonder if, like, after their, like, hookup that then, like, Alex was I don't know if she'd done anything, but maybe she was putting feelings out there or was like kind of wanting to talk about it or whatever. And
Yeah.
Ren just got, like you said, spooked or was like, I don't want to deal with this.
Yeah.
And Alex doesn't really say anything about that. She kind of leaves out her feelings totally. Like she just plays it off when she tells Rosa, like, Ren came on to me and it was so confusing. And I'm sure it was confusing and she probably did come on to her, but it's like, you're not really talking about your thoughts. And maybe she doesn't have it figured out.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
don't think
because
she
I
really
think she
does
was
yet.
like straight up till that point. So she
Yeah.
was probably like, what does this mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't think she really does have it figured out yet either. Um, but yeah, I just still like didn't think she needed to like provide all those details. But then again, Rosa was like begging for it.
Yeah. She like kind of made her say it, but
hmm We forgot to mention earlier too that Alex decides to write a story on what happened to Daphne, which is one of
oh yeah.
the people that lived in the house.
Yeah, so that's yeah, like you said, her like writing assignment or her book is going to be based on like a loose retelling of their deaths. Like she's going to
hmm
make up the ending or whatever.
Yeah.
And you and I talked about this a little bit before, but like not going to lie, like if I ever zoned out listening to this book, it was like during that stuff.
Yeah, I skimmed when I read it. I
Mhm.
don't even remember any of the details from those
Yeah.
from this
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh so like the tension starts to rise more between Alex and Ren. I thought this was shitty when Ren stole Alex's spooky story for that like candle
That was
game.
like a very mean girl move of her.
Yeah.
And she knew exactly what Alex was going to do. Alex freaked the fuck out.
Yeah, that's what makes it like I don't like Ren at this point at
Yeah.
all. I know. So that made Alex look crazy. Um was this the time when they got drugged or no?
That was later.
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. So this is yeah. So if the rules to this game are so weird, but if they like didn't guess if the story was made up or something, then they had to like go downstairs and like
Blow out a candle.
yeah. And then like so Alex had to go. She like freaked out at Ren, and then she had to like go downstairs. And then like some creepy ass shit was happening. I would not go in a basement, especially one in a
No.
scary house, spooky haunted house.
Yeah.
Hell no. I'm like
Mm-mm.
terrified of basements.
Well, wasn't she all pissed off because there were supposed to be 2 candles left and she was supposed to blow one out? So there was still one that she could see, but then there was only one left or there was none left. I don't remember.
Yeah. I think there was yeah, I can't
And somebody
remember.
went down there
Yeah.
and she saw movement or whatever.
hmm I was getting like very spooky vibes from that.
Yeah. And then I think that was the same night where she had like that crazy sex dream about Ren, where
hmm
she was like standing over the railing and then
Yeah.
Ren started to like do sexual things to her and then like pushes her over the edge.
Yeah. I didn't think that was a dream at first.
No, I thought it was real.
Yeah.
Or I thought it was like ghosts or something.
Yeah. And then she's like, oh, and then like then she woke up and I'm like, wait, what?
Well,
It seems so real.
and then after that dream too, I was like, okay, she definitely has feelings
Yeah.
for Ren
Oh, for
because I'm like,
sure.
I mean, I guess like sometimes you have dreams like where you're like, what the heck? Like that made no sense or that's not how I feel at all or whatever.
Mhm.
But like to me, that was like telling.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Finally, like they both grow grow up and confront each other.
Mm-hmm.
They obviously hate each other,
Yeah.
but they agree to like coexist and kind of just get through the retreat and not like
Mm-hmm.
start drama.
Which they probably should have had that conversation from the get go. But
Yeah, they should have had that conversation before they even got there when they
I
found out
know
each of that they were both going.
that would have probably made it a lot less anxious of a situation for the two of them going in and not knowing what the other was going to do.
Yeah, but then if they would have done that, what would have been like the conflict in the book?
That's true. This book would have been boring.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. I mean, we kind of talked about the two of them, but like, do you feel like one of them is like more at fault than the other?
um well, we find out that Alex actually like kind of pushed her
Yeah.
but didn't. Like
Mhm.
she knew what she was doing when she was like reaching out to her. She
Mhm.
didn't like physically push her, but she knew like it would
Make
put her
her
a little off
stumble or something.
balance.
Yeah.
I think Ren is to blame to start it, that she started it, because she just like acted so immature about the whole thing from like what we know.
Well, yeah, that's got to be so confusing, and then just to
Yeah.
like bounce.
Yeah, like to not even talk about it. So I think Ren is more at fault for the fallout, just because like she should have been like an adult and like had the
Hmm.
conversation if she was having any like, if she was like getting spooked by it, like just sit down and talk it out. Like
Yeah,
it could have been solved and then you guys could still be friends, or you could move on and
yeah,
have closure and not be friends anymore. Like it's
yeah. She just
yeah.
like gaslit the shit out of her.
Yeah, and like they were friends for how many years? Like a long time.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I think she was more at fault. What about you?
Yeah, I think between the two of them, she handled like their past the most poorest, the poorest.
Yeah.
um, and and again, like I feel like Alex probably didn't handle it very well there at Blackbriar. Just like talking all this, I don't know if it's talking shit, but just talking about it in the first place with
Yeah.
everybody else. Like I can understand like Ren's frustration,
Yeah,
and
I
like
can
to her,
too.
it sounds like shit talking. Like, hey, she's not even there yet, and like everybody already knows like what happened.
To be fair though, yeah, I don't agree with her like telling everyone, but to be fair, I think everything that Alex said was true. It's not like she was making shit up.
Yeah, she
So
was like
like,
stating facts or whatever.
yeah, if you don't want like, you should have handled it better, Ren, if you didn't want her to talk shit, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
But you know, I agree, like she shouldn't have brought it up.
Yeah,
She didn't handle it the best when they were there, but at the same time, I think it's comes down to being Ren's fault.
yeah, yeah. She was definitely the more like immature of the two with the
Mm-hmm.
problems. I feel like Alex is. She's not like a super lovable main character because she's just like super unhinged, and not to like
That's like
sound
the perfect word for her.
not to like sound mean about like somebody that's like going through it, but just like her situation itself, she just seems like she seems like a sad sack. You know what I mean? Like that's what I literally like think of her. Like I don't
Yeah.
know.
No,
I
I get
feel for
that.
her. Friendship breakups are hard, but
Mm-hmm.
like there was obviously more there, so then that's adding to it and everything, but I don't know.
It
She's
just makes
just
it confusing.
yeah, just didn't really love her to be honest.
Yeah. Well, now we get to the LSD.
Yeah. Next.
I was so shocked with that. They have like this Valentine's Day party, and then Rosa laces like the punch with LSD.
Would you be mad?
Kinda.
Yeah, I would be
I'd want to
mad.
be like confronted, like
I feel
have
like
the
you have to like
choice.
give consent on that kind of thing.
Oh, you definitely do.
It's like date rape.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, you could argue that's what happened in the basement. Cause like they weren't like of sound mind with like Taylor and Alex. Yep.
Oh.
Where she goes down the basement, she thinks she's hooking
Yeah.
up with like the demon from her
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was Taylor.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, I think, yeah, they had to have been. I mean, to be fair, Alex didn't read like the disclosure or whatever it was. Was it an NDA or something? She had to like sign all this paperwork beforehand, and she
Mhm.
like just said, or like the contract or whatever, and she's like, yeah, I didn't even read it, I just signed it. Like
And
maybe it
it's
was in there.
oh.
Who knows? But like, yeah, no, she should have. She should have like warned them.
Side note, have you ever watched Human Centipede?
Yeah.
Did you watch South Park?
No.
Okay. So every time I see a contract, I get freaked out because there's a South Park episode
Oh,
where
no.
the like main characters in the show don't read like a disclosure and they like sign it
Oh,
and they
no.
agreed to like be a part of the Human Centipede experiment. And so now every time I like see a big document, I like actually read it because I'm so nervous and
That
I'm
you're
like,
gonna be turned into a fucking
I'm gonna have
centipede.
somebody's butthole sewed to my mouth.
Valid.
Yeah,
Very valid.
that is
fear.
like my worst absolute nightmare.
I think that would be like anyone's worst nightmare.
Oh,
Oh
my
my
god,
God.
what a fucking horrible movie.
That movie is so messed up, but I like kind of like it because it's so fucked up.
Oh, sorry, another side note. I was gonna text you this over the weekend, but Nick and I watched this movie called The Platform.
Oh, I love that movie.
Oh, I was gonna say you would like that movie. It's fucked up.
Oh, I've seen it. Yeah, I'm usually not a big fan of like dubbed movies.
What's the dubbed movie?
I think that one's dubbed. It's like where they have English over the
Oh, we
voices.
watched it with subtitles.
I hate that too.
Oh, I would rather do the subtitles because I feel like the voiceover like ruins it.
Yeah, we did the voiceover because I'd
Okay.
rather have. I don't like either
You
at
don't want to
all.
have to like
I
pay
usually,
attention to the words or whatever.
yeah, I usually typically avoid any movies that are dubbed or subtitled. Like David will like pick a movie on Netflix, and then I always like tune into their mouth. And if the words don't line up, I'm like, next,
Yeah.
change it. Yeah, because their voices always sound stupid. But I was like so into that movie.
Yeah.
That was like, no, we're watching it, and I didn't want to do it with subtitles.
It was
like
kind of good.
it is good.
I
I like
liked
it.
it.
It's freaking messed up though, but it's good.
Yeah, we had like a lot of Nick and I had a lot of conversations afterwards just about like the logistics of it and
Yeah.
just like what would you do? Like
Yeah, we watched that a long time ago, but I'm pretty sure like me and David did that too. Like,
I'm pretty sure I googled like what are the most disturbing movies on Netflix and like
I've
that
done
was
that.
one of them. Yeah.
Yeah,
We were like in the mood for something weird.
I do that every spooky season.
Okay.
But I'll like, what are the most fucked up movies you can watch?
Yeah.
Like last year, I
Okay.
watched Midsummer for the first time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I love those kind of movies.
Anyway, that's what I think of the whole contract thing. That's how we got there.
Yeah, rabbit hole. Yeah, so they get laced with LSD. They trip out, and then Poppy asks Alex to go with her in the basement because she has something to show her.
Mm-hmm.
That was very intriguing. And Poppy kind of like they kind of go in like different rooms,
Mm-hmm.
and then Alex has sex with like a demon.
Yeah.
Later, we find out it was with Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
And Poppy is missing.
Mm-hmm.
They find that out the next morning.
Yeah.
And so when they go look for her, there's like a door in the basement that like leads, it has like stairs leading to outside, and they're in the middle of a huge ass snowstorm.
Mm-hmm.
Like inescapable snowstorm. I think like all the power is out, but they're running on generators. But
Yeah.
like the phones don't work, nothing works. They're in the snowstorm, and there's like footprints like going up the steps leading to outside. So they think
Yeah.
that Poppy's like in the middle of the woods, like
Yeah, like
frozen.
because also like she has a sleepwalking.
Yeah.
Well, at the time she tells Alex that she was sleepwalking, but we later learned that she was like investigating in the night and like
Mm-hmm.
was trying to cover it up or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So like my thought, which was like kind of the obvious thing, was like she sleepwalked outside or something happened to her. Like somebody
Yeah.
made it look like she sleepwalked, which is kind of what happened.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so everybody kind of like goes into a frenzy. They're all freaked out, and like
Yeah.
Rose is trying to get them to like still write, and
Yeah,
they're like, no.
Yeah, and she's like, this is where like I was like, okay, something's going on with Rosa, 'cause she
Mhm.
keeps saying like, oh yeah, I'm gonna call the police, like,
Yeah.
and how she keeps getting them to write like it's no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But Alex like starts to like investigate with like some of the other girls, and she like finds like a safe door or something like that in the basement that has like a lock on it, like a keypad.
Yeah.
And there's like light coming from like the edges of this door.
Mhm.
So like they're trying to figure out like how to get into this door. I think Kira is the one who like kind of knows how to like pick locks and stuff. So like they try to go do it, they can't do it. But then they find like a camera
Mm-hmm.
above the door. So now they're all like freaking out that there's like cameras everywhere. So they start checking everything, and then they find, I think it was the microphones in the necklaces, because they
Okay.
like smashed one of theirs. I think it was like Kira's or Taylor's or something. But
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, and then they go through Poppy's things too, because they're like just I don't know, trying to figure out more about her or something, and they realize that they find out their name was Zoe.
Yep.
They find out that the story that she's writing is like plagiarism of another
Mhm.
book, so they know that she's obviously like got ulterior motives.
Yeah. Did you have any like suspicions of her? Like at this, like what were your thoughts of what Zoe was doing there? Like at this point?
So, like I said earlier, like I thought she was a PI.
Okay.
Like,
at this
like,
point, like
yeah.
with the fake story and everything?
Yeah, with
Okay.
like the ID that like wasn't her and stuff. I thought she was like investigating Rosa, like or like a private like a journalist trying to like uncover like a
Okay.
story or something.
Yeah.
And then that's where I was like, oh, and she had the pig necklace. Like,
Yeah. I kind of thought she was like a journalist.
yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wish that was the case because her actual reasoning for being there was just very blah to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think so, I guess. It's
So let's
like
talk
kind
about
of
that. She was there because her aunt's story was stolen by Rosa and she was murdered.
by Rosa.
Yeah.
Yes. But there was no proof. That's why like I thought it was kind of interesting that she was there because there was no proof that Rosa did it. So I
Yeah.
think she was there like looking for the proof
Yeah.
and to like take Rosa down.
And she like conveniently knew somebody who knew one of the girls that got picked
Yeah.
and then
And then
convinced
switched.
her to switch with her
Yeah.
after telling her maybe her reasoning or something. I don't know. I just was kind of disappointed in like
I
the
guess
reveal of her
yeah.
situation.
Like the chances of like knowing someone that got accepted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excuse
It
Sorry.
was the baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, that's like when they're figuring all that out, then Alex like breaks into Rosa's bedroom. And isn't
Mhm.
there like a door that leads down to this like secret room then?
Yeah, in her wardrobe there's like she was like knocking around in there and then it's like her closet or whatever. And then when she was like knocking, her arm like went through and she realized it was like a open area. And
Mhm.
then it led to like these like twisty stairs that like went down into this like control room.
Mhm.
Had like a bunch of cameras. And then she finds out like where all the cameras are because they like searched the whole house for these cameras and couldn't find
Yeah.
anything. But they found out like where all the cameras were. And then she looked at one of the cameras and saw Zoe or Poppy
Yeah.
sitting in like this room, and then
Mhm.
that room was actually like right next door.
Yeah. Okay.
Creepy.
Yeah. As soon as she found the control room, I was like, "Oh."
Really?
Because I was hoping that it wasn't it seemed obvious that Rosa was going to steal their stories. And
Yeah, I thought
so
that too.
this just confirms that. I was like, God damn it. Like, I was hoping for like a bigger twist.
I guess like the big twist for me is that Rosa's a fucking murderer. Like I didn't
Yeah.
expect that. Like I kind of had a feeling that she was gonna steal the stories.
Hmm.
Um, but then like she's had other writing retreats in the past, so I kind of wanted to know like how those went. Like,
Yeah.
did she take all their stories and then just paid them off?
Yeah. That's a good point because I was like, I was thinking about this. How would she get away with stealing their stories?
Exactly. And then it also, I think, like in the beginning or some point during the book, they talk about a scene where Rosa was like on stage calling out this other guy for stealing someone else's story.
Yeah. For like plagiarism or whatever.
Yeah.
That's literally all she does.
Yeah.
I know. I was trying to wrap my head around that, and it's like, oh, are you going to murder all of them? Like, what are you going to say happened?
Yeah.
And it's not like that's something you can continue to do.
Exactly. So that's why I
Like,
think because she like pays him off.
yeah. And they signed like an NDA to go there, right? Didn't they
Hmm.
say, like, I'm not going to talk about this experience? Like, I'm here to write or whatever.
Yeah, I think because we only have Alex's point of view and she said she didn't read it. So,
Right. Human centipede. Okay.
yeah.
That's why you read contracts.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, her fate could have been decided in that contract. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Could have been at the end. You're going to die. I'm
Yeah.
taking your book.
Oh, my. Yeah. Okay. Well, so then that's when she figures out that like Poppy is locked up and she like goes in there to rescue her and then she ends up getting like shoved in there with her in like the jail cell that Poppy's been
Yeah.
staying in.
That was dumb.
You know, like you weren't going to be like aware of your surroundings in this
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah. But we find out who shoved her in there was Taylor,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't know. Like, I felt like one of the girls was in on it. I didn't think it was Kiera. I think I probably suspected Taylor out of all of them. I was
Really?
I kind of suspected Ren though, because she showed up late
Yeah.
just because of that. I don't know. Yeah.
So,
Or
di-
Poppy could have been in it, but she was like faking it.
yeah,
I don't know.
that's what I was wondering if like so you were surprised a little bit that it was Taylor or you kind of suspected?
I suspected her, I think, more out of everyone, but I also suspected Ren.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also kind of suspected Poppy. I think I suspected Poppy first.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kind of still suspected her when she was found because like she could have just been playing
Yeah.
victim.
Yeah, to like get Alex in there or something.
Yeah. But then, like I said, like I thought Ren too, only because she showed up late that time. And like
Yeah.
maybe she was like with Rosa, like planning something, or I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never suspected Kira. But I think like Taylor, like after Poppy the most.
Mm-hmm.
What about you? Did you like,
I
were you
didn't
shocked?
suspect Taylor at all. I was pretty surprised, but then not that surprised because I was like, oh, of course, like one of them is going to be in on it. Like,
Yeah.
I guess I didn't really go throughout the book like thinking one of them was lying about who they were
Oh, really?
until Poppy went missing, and then I was like, okay, either she's like a PI that got kidnapped, or she's in on it, and this is like her way of, I don't know, stirring things up or whatever, and she's really like fine.
I think like in the beginning, I was really like wondering why Ren was late.
Yeah, that's
Like
true.
I didn't know why like she could have been late, but like I was like, that's a little weird.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, shortly after that, I
it's
guess nothing too crazy happens other than they're like suffering in there, and then the other girls get shoved in there as they like.
nothing too crazy happens. They only just get shoved in the prison.
No, I mean
And
like,
starved.
I mean it's pretty straightforward what happens next. Like the
Yeah.
next girls come in to try to rescue them, and they get shoved in there too.
Yeah.
Nothing too
Um,
crazy happens. They almost die.
yeah. But they're like forced. So like if they want to get out, which I did not trust Rosa with this at all, then they're forced to write
Mm-hmm.
or they won't get food.
Yeah, or water. Their
Yep.
water is like tainted or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like with what was it? With
Did it have like something that was gonna make them sick or make them sleep or something?
I think it was something to make them sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Poppy was like so dehydrated that she's like, I don't even care, I'll drink it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not exactly like the best accommodations.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, they try to get out of there. Like they try to gang up on Taylor and try to take the gun from her. I think she has one on her. Is Yana? Yana was there too.
Yeah.
And then they try to overpower them, and then Taylor ends up like shooting Poppy. She dies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was sad.
Mm-hmm.
Then I was like, at that point, I was like, yeah, Poppy's not in on it.
No, she's not in on it.
Because I was still kind of suspecting her, like thinking she was like
Yeah.
the inside man, like trying to get like information out of all of them. No, she
That's
got
funny.
off.
Oh my gosh.
So eventually Kira and Alex escape with the help of Yana,
Mm-hmm.
which was surprising because like this whole story, Yana is just kind of like
The
standoffish, like doesn't want to be there, like
yeah,
hates her job.
she's kind of like a creepy housekeeper. And you know
Yeah.
she's in on it because then she's kind of there when they're being taunted in their jail cell or whatever.
Yeah.
But she must have some kind of change of heart or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But so then she leads. So I can't remember why Ren wasn't with Taylor and
Because Rosa was still doing those like one-on-ones and she
oh
brought
yeah,
Ren
yeah.
upstairs.
Okay. Yeah, because the other two tried to like bolt with the snowmobile.
Yeah.
And then Alex like felt bad that they left Ren. So she like went back for her. And then Kira gets stranded because there like wasn't any gas in the snowmobile.
Would you have left Ren if you were Alex?
Oh my gosh, what a dark question.
Ren's a
My
bitch.
first thought was like, yes.
Same.
No, I don't
Same.
know.
I mean, they
I
could
feel
have
like
went and got help. I mean, we know what happens and that wasn't
it's
possible.
like because
but
you're kind of like, oh, well, in the moment, like she could have, thought, we'll go get help and come back and get her. But then it's like, you don't know what's going to happen to her in that time.
yeah.
But then you're also putting yourself at risk.
Maybe I'm
going
just
back.
selfish.
Oh my God, I don't think I want to answer that question.
I mean, she doesn't owe Ren anything. Ren
That's
treated her
true.
like shit.
That's true.
But she should have been nice to me.
Yeah. Yep.
No, I don't know what I would do actually.
I think it's
you
one of
can't
those
really
things-
say what you're gonna do.
Not until you're like in the moment. We're like either you're like fight or flight kind of thing, you know?
If it was you, I'd go get you.
I would go get you too.
Thanks.
Even if I was mad at you, I'd still go get you.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you acted like Ren, though, I probably
I don't blame
just
you.
kidding.
Like, peace, bitch.
No, I'm kidding. But so we find out that like, so Kira takes the snowmobile, doesn't make it very far because Rosa like emptied the gas out of it, and then she gets shot.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then
that's what they're led to believe, right?
I think she did get shot.
Oh, she did
though.
get shot. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she got shot still.
Also,
I
don't
don't
you think
know.
you would notice what gas level you were on with the snowmobile?
Fuck, if you're in that dire of a situation, probably not.
I mean, it's like literally on the dash. You know, it's like a car. You see the little meter
I know,
thingy.
but you're like, you have very little time to get the hell out of there.
I
I
suppose
don't
even if you
know.
had barely any gas, you're like, anywhere is better than here.
Yeah,
That's true.
exactly.
I don't know.
I mean, you can run on fumes for a while.
That's true. Nick thought that was kind of dumb. He's like, how did they not notice that the gas was gone? It's like,
I
well,
just think like when you're in that, your adrenaline is so high, you're just trying to escape and get
yeah,
out. Like I don't think you're noticing all these little details.
that's true.
Come on, Nick.
Nick.
Figure it
He's
out.
not even here to defend himself.
I know.
I thought that was a very good point, though. I was like, yeah, it's pretty obvious, like where your gas is at. And you know, when you're driving too, you just check your gas because it's just kind of
But
like
you're not running from someone who's trying to kill you.
That's true. I don't know. I just feel like it's there whether you try to look at it or not. You just notice it. But anyway,
But they're also in an area that they don't know.
that's true. I don't know.
don't know either.
Little things.
Yeah.
Well, so Alex goes
Oh, yeah.
back for Ren and then she gets like recaptured and then Rosa like gives him an ultimatum and is like, I'm only gonna pick one of you and one of you you have to kill the other one. Basically, only one of you is gonna live.
Yeah, that was stupid because she did say that they would all live.
Yeah. I just didn't understand her, like, all of her logic throughout these things, how she would just change her mind on stuff. And then it was confusing too, like, maybe it made sense to you, but how she was, like, not gonna kill the one who won. She was gonna, like, compensate them still.
Yeah, she said that if you win, like you'll be set up for life.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, that's not very, like, evil of you. I mean, kind of stealing the story, but it's like you're still gonna, like, give them all these things. I was
And
just
then
confused.
I think it was like some of the girls were like, I'm not doing that. Like, your story or your life. Like,
Yeah, it's like, okay, not
it's
only
pretty
do
obvious
you
what you
get
should
to
do.
live, but she's gonna give you millions of dollars, like,
Yeah,
or
it's
$1 million.
one
It's like,
story. Like,
I don't know. I think I would value my life over pretty much anything. So
yeah.
I don't know.
I know. I didn't understand that because I think it was Kira that was like so against that.
Mhm.
And then Ren wasn't writing at all, right? In the cell. She was
Yeah,
like sick or something.
yeah. I don't know
But
if maybe she didn't get injured, but she was just like losing her will to live, basically.
I think she was sick. So they had to
Okay.
get her medicine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But so eventually they're kind of like all in a room together, and Alex had taken like the wolfsbane out of Taylor's necklace,
Mm-hmm.
and that was supposed to be like poisonous. Like if you consume that, like you could
Is it
die.
actually in real life?
I don't know. I didn't look it up.
Me either.
We'll have to ask Google. But anyway, so she like puts it in the wine and like tries to convince like them to drink it or whatever. And so Taylor does, and then Alex is like, I put the wolfsbane in it. And so then Taylor's like trying to make herself throw up. And
Yeah.
then Kira like comes out of nowhere and like hits her on the back of the head with like a vase or something and like kills her. But like in the moment, Alex thinks it's like Daphne. I was confused about that whole ending part too, how like suddenly her like fictional characters were like popping up. Like I think it was just like her conscience.
I don't really remember that much.
Because like
Yeah, I
Daphne was
didn't-
like encouraging her to like fight for her life and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was like her conscience like kicking in.
Mm-hmm. I think maybe just because she was so like involved with their stories because she was writing about it that like they were like starting to just become real to her.
That's true.
Like the ending of the end, like this part of the ending, it reminded me of every single scary movie where it's like, why would you do that? Why would you go downstairs? Why would you do this? And then after she gave the wolf's bane, she's like, oh yeah, and I poisoned it. Why would you tell her that? She could still throw it up.
Yeah.
Like, ugh.
Just let it take effect.
Yes.
Well,
It's like some people are so stupid.
Well, she didn't tell her, but she like whispers to Ren and she's like, don't drink the wine, I poisoned it. And then like Rosa overheard.
Yeah.
They're all in a room together. Like,
I know.
it was so
like
dumb.
reading like they're right there.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna hear it or they're gonna see your lips. Like
You could have just like kind of made eye contact and be like shake your
yeah,
head, like
exactly.
don't drink it. Like you
yeah,
have
that
to
could
be
have
like
signified
I
anything.
laced it.
Yeah. Ugh. It's
You
literally
could make like a
so
spoof
annoying.
of this scene,
right?
and it would be kind of funny. I
But
think.
literally though, like this exact scene is like in every other scary movie. Like it, like that's like I love scary movies, but like the stupid decisions people make in them are dumb. Like this, like
Yeah,
don't say that.
right. But they get out of there.
Yeah.
I actually don't even remember how they got out of there. I think they just like I don't know if the police showed up or they just were like because it was 3v1 at that point. Like,
well, Yana died and
Chitra,
that was so sad.
which she actually forgot to mention this. She was like taking care of Kira in the garage. Like, so
Yeah.
Kira wasn't actually dead. Like,
So
Chitra
that's what
was-
makes me think she was still shot. Because she was like,
Oh
getting,
yeah.
like,
Okay. Yep. That makes sense.
But yeah, Taylor just like shot Chitra.
Yeah.
That was really sad. I
Yeah.
felt bad for that lady.
I know. Me too.
Yeah. So they escape and she like publishes her novel she wrote and she keeps in touch with Kira and Ren, but then they go their separate ways. Pretty much it.
Yeah. And she gets a text from Rose at the very end.
Oh yeah, I liked that.
Me too.
I was like, ooh, keep in contact with her.
Yeah. I kind of liked her. I stand by what I said in the beginning. Aside from like the murder and deceit and stealing and all the illegal things that she does, I
all
thought
the awful things she does. Literally like the worst.
I liked her character. Like I could see
she was
how
interesting.
and Alex was still kind of feeling it too at the end, where she was
Yeah.
like, I still kind of have this weird like Stockholm syndrome situation for her. Like,
yeah, I was surprised she told the detective the phone. Like she
that she got the text.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I liked her personality.
Mm-hmm.
She's very untrustworthy, but I liked her personality and just like I don't know, like even like in the text where she's like, and don't even think about calling the cops because this is just a throwaway phone, like in the ocean now.
Yeah. And it could be any ocean.
Yeah.
So that's about it.
What characters did you like the most?
I actually liked probably most of them throughout the book until we kind of learned like their true nature. But
You liked Ren?
I didn't like Ren, but I kind of liked all their different characters, like how the dynamics were going on. Like, you know how we were talking earlier about how it seemed like it'd be like a fun situation?
Yeah.
Like, I just felt like they were all so different that it just seemed really interesting. And like, I enjoyed like reading about them all interacting with like one another.
Yeah.
I guess the only one that like, I liked all the girls. And also, side note, the audiobook narrator did like a fantastic job on all their voices. She did all of them. And it was very clear who she was at the time.
Oh,
Like,
really?
She did them all completely different. She did like Taylor's Southern accent to a T. She did the Hungarian accent for
nice.
Rosa. Like, everybody sounded great. So like, I just felt like I was like almost watching a movie in a way, just like with all the different voices and stuff. And so anyway, just like that whole interaction with the girls and stuff, like I really liked. I guess like the one that I didn't like was like Alex.
Really? Okay.
Well, like I
I
said,
get
I
that.
stand by what I said. She's kind of sad sack.
Yeah. Which ones? Okay, so the only one you did not like is Alex.
Yeah, and Ren's like a B. But
Yeah. I think the ones that I did like, I liked Rosa. I did not like Yana. I don't know. I mean, she was fine, I guess. I guess she's like not in it enough to like her. Just like, I just thought she was a bitch. I loved Chitra. She was so sweet.
Yeah. She'd like make them snacks and stuff.
Yeah. I liked Poppy, but I thought she was also kind of just like an annoying airhead at times.
She was kind of a follower with like her and Ren.
Yeah.
Like, a little bit.
I didn't like Ren.
Yeah.
At all. Throughout the entire book, I didn't like her. Taylor and Kira were fine. Yeah.
Even though like we were meant to hate Ren, I liked how her character was crafted because you could argue that there's a lot of people out there like her that are very like,
True. Like self-centered.
yeah, and like a lot of times people will be very captivating and they'll win over like a ton of people around you, and you're like, how are they doing it? Like, it's just like one of those kind of people where like they don't always like show their true colors kind of thing.
They're fake.
Yeah, so I felt like the author did a nice job of like crafting that kind of like stereotypical like mean girl.
I guess. Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. I didn't really know what to think about Alex. If I liked her or didn't. Kind of just felt like you were Alex in a way. It's like you were getting
yeah,
her.
it's like her. She was the main
Yeah.
character. Yeah, I didn't like being Alex, but I agree with
No.
that statement. You
Yeah.
do kind of, I guess you kind of bond with her in the sense that she's the main character, but I was
Hmm.
like, yeah, I didn't like her.
Yeah. Did you think there was any significance to the story that Alex wrote about Daphne?
Well, like I said, I zoned out through half of it, and there was
Same.
also like a part where like Nick and I were listening to it and I zoned off, and then it was like the story again, and I was like, wait, did this really happen to Daphne? And Nick was like, no, this is Alex's story. I was like,
Oh
oh yeah,
yeah.
oopsies. So if you like don't pay attention, you could totally miss the part where it was just like a story.
You listening to it, yeah. Reading it, no, because it's very like different.
Obvious that it's
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, so but I guess like I was trying to figure out the meaning of the end about how she started seeing Daphne and like their kind of big climax moment where like they basically like kill Taylor and stuff. And I think it was kind of the significance of it was Alex got her mojo back, like writing this story and kind of being put in this like really extreme situation where she kind of like just, I don't know, like healed herself in a weird way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I feel like this story like saved her.
Yeah.
But aside from like the story itself, like Daphne like seeing this demon and all this weird stuff, I don't think there was really any significance to it. It's just
I think
yeah.
that there was supposed to be. I just didn't catch it because
Mhm.
like you like I skimmed through it.
Yeah.
I did not pay attention to it at all just because I was so bored with it. Um, but like from what I've read from other reviews, there is like a tie between that and like
Oh, really?
yeah, and what's going on in the story. I just didn't
Did
pay attention to
did
what it
any of them
was.
say, or you
They
just didn't
probably
look at
did.
them
I
that
just don't
closely?
remember.
Okay.
I read them a while ago. Yeah, sorry guys. We don't have that part with
I
for
would
you.
love to know if you guys have a thought, let us know.
Mhm.
I am kind of bummed that we didn't find out what really happened to them, Daphne and Horace.
Oh yeah.
I thought that for sure we were going to find out.
Yeah. I mean, we know how they died, but yeah, just like how it got to that point.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, it was all like about Daphne with this like demon.
Yeah.
I mean, like witchy cult vibes.
Hmm.
What were your thoughts on like the twists?
Um, I wasn't a huge fan of the ending. Like, I just felt like it was very predictable, and I just couldn't believe that it actually went there with Rosa being the villain.
Mhm.
Because it seemed so obvious, just her like luring these girls into this retreat. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, it's obvious that she's the villain, but I know she's not going to be the villain because that's way too obvious.
Yeah.
And then she ended up being the villain, and then it was just like kind of cliche, like, oh, one of the girls was her girlfriend, and like all these people are in on it that work there. It was just
Mhm.
kind of like, I think I wanted more out of the twists, and I just
Yeah.
wasn't super satisfied with like what they really were.
Mhm.
What about you?
I mean, I get like I agree with you like the part where Rosa being the villain was very predictable and I kind of had a feeling she was going to steal the stories from pretty early on. But I guess like I didn't expect her to murder people, so I thought that was a little twisty and like I don't know, just I mean, yeah, a lot of it is predictable, but I guess it was just like it was satisfying enough for me to like get through it. Like I was
Yeah.
satisfied with it.
Okay, I need to read something to you quick. It's like this synopsis on Goodreads. So this was really, tell me if you think that this is like deceiving. But it says, so blah 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 blah, Alex's long extinguished dream now seems within reach, but then the women begin to die. Trapped, terrified, yet still desperate writing, it is clear that more than a publishing deal is at stake. So it says, like, the women begin to die. So
Is that on the back of the book too, or is that just on Goodreads?
it's like the Goodreads synopsis. And I don't know if that's like the author or the publisher or whoever like writes that, or if they like copy paste it from somewhere.
Okay, I didn't read that.
But so, have you ever heard of And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie?
Mm-mm.
So it's like an old horror book, like written, I don't know, probably early 1900s, 1950 maybe. And it's like, and there's so many movies and books that do this where like people go to like this remote location and they get picked off one by one. So
Mhm.
that's like what I thought this book was going to be. So when you were
Okay.
like, oh, I didn't think she was going to murder them, I thought they were going to get murdered because of this
I
synopsis.
didn't read that.
Isn't that like, it's misleading though, because that's not totally what happens.
I mean, they die. Chitra, Yana, we think that Kira dies. Poppy dies. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
but it's giving away the ending.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was just
no, I
delivered
didn't read that.
differently than like I felt like it was.
I wonder what the one, because I got this on Book of the Month. So I wonder what the one on Book of the Month says.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, I didn't read it on, like, I didn't look it up on Goodreads or anything.
Yeah, I feel like that was kind of, I guess you're right. It's not wrong. It's just the way it's written made me think that they were going to get picked off one by one and like Alex was going to be the last one left.
Yeah, well, I feel like that just completely gives it away.
Yeah.
That's stupid. Why would they write that?
Yeah. I don't know.
They literally just gave away the whole ending of the book.
Yeah.
The only twist would be her stealing the stories.
Hmm?
Yeah, that's stupid.
That's why it was like, it was way too obvious because I was like, oh, the obvious answer is they're all going to go there. They're going to get their stories stolen and Rose is going to kill all of them.
Yeah, so I wonder if you didn't read that, if you would have liked it more.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people probably read that.
I didn't.
But like, you know, if you went to, you know, want to read or currently reading on Goodreads and saw that, like, is there anything that you'd like change about this book? Like, would you change the ending?
I'd probably add a bigger twist to it, but I don't know what.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I was pretty satisfied with it.
Mm-hmm.
But now, like, knowing that makes me mad.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I already read the book, but like that gives away the book.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid. I'm looking on Book of the Month. What about you? Would you change anything? Well,
I would make a more twisty ending.
yeah.
Again, what that would be, I don't know. I wish that they had, or the author had tied in more of like Daphne and Horace's like real stories. See, like, you know, when like Alex's story she was writing was like cult vibes.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was like what it was going to be, like where Rosa was like a cult leader or something, and they were like doing human sacrifices down in the basement and like,
ooh, creepy.
and instead of stealing their story, instead of like stealing their stories, she was like, I don't know, stealing their youth or like
taking
weird. Like murdering them is giving her like good fortune or something. You know what I mean? Like making her a good writer because she's like doing these sacrifices.
See,
to this
that would have been
demon.
more interesting.
That's what I thought it was. And then when there was a control room, I was like, no.
Yeah.
So
they should have been, what is it, like an altar or something?
yeah.
Is that what they are? I don't know.
Yeah, like a sacrificial table or something. Yeah. Then I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, I would have liked that way more.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look. Yeah, they don't. So the Goodreads synopsis is like completely different. It's longer. Yeah, it goes into like her dreams of becoming a published author. She gets this once in a lifetime opportunity. Blah 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 blah. We know that. Goes into like that she and Ren are in a rival, and then that they have to complete a novel, and then they get a 7-figure publishing deal. So then it goes but when one of the writers vanishes during a snowstorm, Alex realizes that something very sinister is afoot. With the clock running out, she's desperate to discover the truth and save herself. That's way better.
Yeah, they should have done that one.
Yeah, like that doesn't give anything away. So that's like, I didn't think that anyone was going to get murdered or anything.
Oh, I thought they were all going to slowly get picked off.
Well, you read the wrong synopsis.
I know.
Damn. You should like, can you like
Complain?
write in? Yeah.
Maybe
That's
I will.
bad. That's like literally, I'd be pissed if I were the author of that book.
Yeah, I don't
Unless it
know.
was the author who wrote it.
I don't
If
know.
so,
I would think so because they have like a profile on Goodreads, and like if you click on the author's name, it'll list like all their books, and then you can click on the books, and then it'll go to like that book page, and you see the rating and the synopsis and all of people's comments. So,
but that synopsis I know for a fact is not on the back of the book.
mhm.
So the one on the back of the book, I'm assuming, is the one that the author writes, right?
I'm sure they have
So
input.
why would they not just put that synopsis
You would
in
you would
Goodreads?
think that they would.
Yeah, so that makes me think that the author didn't write that.
Yeah, maybe it was like
Ugh, that's so
an
annoying.
assistant or something.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Wow.
airing our grievances. Um, so overall, like thoughts? Do you like this book?
I liked it. Yeah. I think I gave it I think I upped it to a 4, but it was like a 3.5. It was either 3.5 or 4 on Goodreads.
Mhm.
Yeah. What about you?
I agree. I will give it a 3.5. Loved the beginning of the book. Like
Mm-hmm.
great setup, great premise. The ending was really disappointing to me. I just felt like she could have done so much more with it, and it just kind of felt like it fell flat a little bit. So,
Yeah.
what?
Sorry. I'm twitching because she's like kicking. Sorry.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. I mean, I was satisfied with the ending. It's whatever.
Mhm.
I mean, I would still recommend this book. I thought it was like very spooky. Like I was getting like creepy vibes reading it.
Yeah,
Um, I'm not comparing it to Verity, but it gave me that feeling of like something's around the corner, like Verity did.
it does with like the whole creepy old mansion
Yeah.
and the ghost dreams
Yep.
and yeah.
Yeah. And I like that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, it was very eerie.
yeah. So yeah, I would still recommend it. I like it.
Yeah, I think I would recommend it. It wouldn't be like at the very top of my list. Like there's other thrillers that if somebody were like, what's a twisty book, I wouldn't say this one right away.
Yeah.
But
No, I wouldn't
it's on the
either.
list, I think.
Yeah. I don't know if I would even, I mean, it's hard to say it's a twisty book with that synopsis, but
We need to like go full Karen on this like Goodreads
we
account and
should.
just like demand that they take that part out.
Honestly, though, that's so stupid. Yeah. I don't know. Overall, pretty good.
Yeah, I liked it.
Have you read anything else recently?
Yes. Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
I read Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I Will Never Be the Same. That is my new favorite book. I think everybody should read that book.
I think everybody has read that book now.
I know, but if you haven't, this is your
Sign to read it.
another sign. I'm sure you've seen him on social media, but like it was so good, especially if you're like fantasy romance fan. Like what are you doing? Like you need to go get this book. This is literally I was like wanting to get it for the 4th of July. I was like, it sounds like a really good book to like obsess over for like the long holiday weekend. I know I want to get the physical copy because I'm like, I'm probably going to like this book. I like having the actual copy so I can like borrow them out to people or just like the way they look on my shelf, like
Mm-hmm.
whatever. The book was 2 months out on back order everywhere. It was sold out, Barnes and Nobles all over the Twin Cities. I looked at Target, Walmart, tried to order on Amazon. You could not get the physical copy. So I had to settle for the Kindle copy. I still ordered the hard copy after I finished the book because I was like, yeah, I'll probably read this again, to be honest. And like,
Yeah.
I have to have like the real copy of this book. Like, it was just so good. I cannot even like describe to you like how good of a story it was. Just like the world building, the characters, the love story. Like, oh my God.
I'm excited. Yeah, I have it pre-ordered, so it's coming, I think, on like August 9th or something. But I'm like, I wish I would have jumped on it because like I learned about that book pretty much right when it
Yeah.
like became popular.
Mhm.
And then I don't think I mentioned it to you for another like couple months.
Yeah. And you were the one that told me about it.
Yeah.
And then it was funny because once you mentioned it, then I started seeing it everywhere.
Yeah.
It came out
So your
in
phone's always listening.
yeah. Another rabbit hole we can go down a
Right.
different day. Yeah. I don't know. I'm obsessed and I get it. I get the hype and
Yeah.
you absolutely have to read it.
Well,
we're going to do an episode on it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I was going to say though is why I'm sad about it is because in that first release of it, they have like the really cool like sprayed edges on the book that have like the dragons, and
Yeah.
now like these ones don't. And I wish I would have like jumped on that right when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
I don't have any like sprayed edge books, so
Yeah. I already pre-ordered the second one that comes out in November.
is
And
yours sprayed edge?
I think maybe because it
Ah,
said like the certain. Well, you
dang.
got to order it. Pre-order it right now. You might still be able to get it.
I'm not gonna order 2 copies.
No, order the second one with the sprayed edges.
Oh, but then they don't match.
Oh, well, my first one's not going to have the sprayed edges,
Oh,
but it's not like you see that. You see the spine.
well, I would turn it the other way.
Oh, okay. Anyway, to
Yeah.
each their own.
Yeah.
But yeah, what about you? Have you read anything recently?
I've been so busy. I don't think so.
Well, you've been sick
Yeah. Well, that was probably the best excuse to read. But
or sleep.
yeah, true. I don't know, just like with like it's been like 4 weeks since I've seen you, so I'm like trying to think back like did I read anything else? I keep saying at the end of every episode I'm going to start reading Glow, but I haven't read that yet. But that book's coming up that episode, so I'll be reading that soon for
Mhm.
sure. But no, it's just like with doctor's appointments and then our business and then being sick and then the Taylor Swift concert and yeah, no, I haven't had time.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
It's just another thing to do.
And yeah. It's just going to get busier from now on, so it's
And we read one book a week for this. That's a lot. I mean, you don't like audiobooks either, so that doesn't help
I
you.
know. I should. If their voice is like even a little bit off, like I cannot listen to it. And like it would be so much easier for me to like be working at the studio and then like have my headphones in or something and listen to an audiobook, but like I just like zone out so easily from audiobooks. Yeah, I don't know. I've tried them and I just cannot. I haven't had like success with any of them yet.
Mhm.
So I think it's a loss for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that pretty much wraps up this episode today. Thank you for joining us. Stay tuned for next week. We will be reading Gleam.
Yeah.
Gleam's next.
It's the third book in the Plated Prisoner series.
I got it right. I didn't say
Oh
guild.
my gosh, it's
or-
a first.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're reading Gleam. So that's the third book in the Plated Prisoner series. So if you are enjoying that series, stay tuned for next week. We'll be diving into that. Again, every Wednesday is when we upload. Sorry, we've been gone the last 2 weeks. We will be taking holiday weeks off for future reference. And then we took off last week, so I was sick. So yeah, we will be back every Wednesday. Please check out our social media. If you want to see our YouTube, we will have pictures of our weekends, our past couple weekends in there, from the concert and then from your weekends at the cabin. Please subscribe. We are trying to get to 100 subscribers. That's our goal right now. We're at 88. Please go subscribe. We're trying to build a community over there. Let us know in the comments like what you're reading, if you enjoyed this book, if you plan on reading this book, any thoughts you've had during this discussion. And yeah, just leave us a comment, like the video, subscribe.
All the things.
Great. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you.
See you next Wednesday. Bye, guys.
Bye.